Challenge accepted. I'm Dr. Wadsworth, I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm going to teach men how to control The main reason that people get divorced, number one reason, is that one partner wants to have sex and the other partner does not. One partner wants it more, one partner wants it less. Now, the first thing I recommend is that it's really healthy for partners, if they're not asexual, to try to make love as often as possible to make it as enjoyable as possible for both partners. But there are times when this may not be possible. For example, right after someone has a baby. Probably not going to happen. Also, sometimes there are very good reasons why people are not making love, and this is a sign that something needs to change in the relationship. Maybe you're not being a supportive enough husband. Maybe you're not carrying an equal load of the responsibilities in the household. Maybe you're not dating and courting each other appropriately. Maybe you're not being a very nice friend. Any of these things is likely to lower the libido in the relationship, which will lead to less sex, which is harmful for the relationship in most instances. Okay, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about controlling this. Although it's more healthy for your relationship to make as much love as possible, as long as it's enjoyable for both people, within reason, of course, it's also very healthy for you to learn to control yourself. Men who don't learn how to control themselves often end up going out and having affairs. It's very unlikely that both of you will have exactly the same sex drive. If you and your partner don't have exactly the same sex drive, there's going to have to be either one person decreasing or one person increasing. Sometimes a little bit of both. So controlling this first starts with your thoughts. Thoughts lead to arousal. Thoughts are heavily influenced by your surroundings. The things that you look at, the things that you listen to, the people that you talk about, and what you talk about. Now, most men married their wife because their wife arouses them. They're attracted to this woman. So unfortunately, the more time that you spend around your wife, the more likely that she is to arouse you, which is going to make you have a harder time controlling this. I know this is a really difficult thing to say, but a lot of guys that try to control this end up having to try and avoid being around their wife. Actually, this does work. A lot of men find ways of controlling this by going out and exercising really hard or getting really involved in some kind of hobby, maybe hunting, maybe they play video games, get involved in hanging out with their friends, the game, things like this. If you really occupy your mind with things that don't arouse you, like your wife, it's going to be easier for you to be able to control this. Now, this may not be the answer that people want to hear, but this is generally what works for most people. If you're spending lots of time around your wife, who's probably the person that arouses you more than anyone else, then you're going to be more aroused and you're going to want it more, which is going to make it more difficult. So find a hobby, get into exercise, get really, really wrapped up in doing something. This can be very productive. Maybe clean the house or spend time with the kids. Do something that's going to be good for you and for the family. I don't usually recommend spending a lot of time in video games. Usually this is not as healthy for you and not as healthy for your relationship, but everybody finds different ways to occupy their time. Now, warnings here. I really strongly encourage you that if you are trying to control this and that you are finding ways to do this by spending time away from your partner, that you also make sure you're managing the relationship, which means that you're not abandoning your partner. You're not just like, okay, well, you handle everything in the house and you handle the kids and you do all this stuff and I'm just going to go off and go hunting or something. That's a good way to destroy your relationship. So keep yourself really preoccupied, but make sure that you are lovingly expressing your affection for your wife. Make sure that you are properly handling the family responsibilities. You're being an equal partner in the roles that are covered in the household. Send your wife text messages or love letters or this sorts of thing. Tell her that you love her and that you care about her. And if she's wondering what's going on, like, why are you so wrapped up in the lawn or the yard work or making something out of wood, or what's going on here exactly? You can tell her, just be like, look, I am ridiculously attracted to you. Just being around you increases my libido, my sex drive, and I'm having a really hard time handling that because those emotions are so powerful and I want to make love with you and we can't make love right now and that's really hard for me and I'm trying to figure out some way to handle this without just losing my mind. So I'm getting really wrapped up in lifting weights. That's why I'm lifting weights for 3 hours a day. And that way they're not wondering what's going on. Audiobooks is another good thing I recommend. Listen to an audiobook. Listen to, podcasts, this sort of thing. Keeping your mind occupied with things so that it doesn't drift back to thoughts that cause arousal. The warning is do not turn to pornography. It's going to damage your relationship. It's going to cause a lot of other problems for you, most likely. Do not go out and spend time with other women. This is cheating. This is not okay. This is going to ruin your married relationship. And be careful if you're spending more time at work, because sometimes you can spend more time at work, and then there could be women at work, and you can start spending more time with them, and your relationship with them can increase, and then your relationship with your wife will decrease. So you need to really be careful to moderate that. That's a lot of times how affairs start. So just be really careful. You're not wanting to destroy your marriage relationship. You're just trying to control this so that you and your wife can kind of meet each other in a place somewhere in the middle. I hope this is helpful for you.